Not. Yes, it's going.
Okay, so you
It's
started.
streaming. So,
You started.
Dr. Priyanka Kakkar, ma'am, is a senior assistant professor of National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar, since 2013. She is teaching and carrying out research in neuropsychology and forensic psychology. She has been published in over 60 international and national journals. She has also received several awards for her excellent activities in forensic psychology field. Let me, I would like to mention some research papers of man, like brain and mind created from the brain dependent on material, scientific principles and relationship in the brain, and the independent created mind relationship and principles. And another is the forensic psychology for prevention of crime and rehabilitations of offenders, public health perspective. Uh, I'd like to welcome you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing this session.
Thank you, Meghmala. Thank you, sir, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to be the chairperson of this particular session. So, shall I start with my presentation?
Yes, madam. Please start.
Okay, sir. Is my slide visible?
Yes, madam.
And changing also?
Yeah.
All right. So, good morning, everyone. And since morning, we have heard about various courses started by Ravindric Institute, where the main focus was on psychometric and forensic psychology. So the presentation that I'm going to give is about the amalgamation of psychometric in the field of forensic psychology. Though forensic psychology is an established field, yet new in India, there are various aspects associated with forensic psychology on which we forensic experts are working. Aspects are like understanding the criminal behavior, its assessment, forensic psychological investigation, and rehabilitation. These four aspects are the major concern for any forensic psychology expert. But when we talk about researchers, there is still a dearth of psychometric researchers, psychometric based researchers in forensic psychology. And it is very important to understand how it is required, where it is required, and how to use psychometric tests and related aspects in forensic psychology. So today I'm going to discuss about the areas where we can work in collaboration, the psychometricians and the forensic psychology expert, to improve forensic psychology field and to utilize psychometrics in a better manner. This we all need to understand that for any research work in the field of forensic psychology, we need to have permission, without which we cannot do any research work. Now, this taking of permission is very difficult task. For example, if we want to do a research work in jail, now, in order to get data from jail about prisoners or jail staff, people associated with jail work setup, we need to have permission from higher authority that can we take collect data from jail premises, inside the jail premises, about the prisoners. So they will go through our questionnaire, and if they think that the questionnaire is not appropriate, they will not allow us for data conduction. So in order to prepare questionnaire in such a manner that people will start allowing forensic psychology experts for data collection, we have to have a proper structured tool constructed with the help of psychometricians. So now the first and very important area where psychometrics is required is the application of projective psychological testing in learning criminal behavior. Up till now, we were focusing on the projective techniques like Rorschach, TAT, sometimes picture frustration test also. But slowly and gradually, after working on these psychological tests, we have understood that these projective techniques cannot be performed inside the forensic setup, especially in prison or when a suspect has come to forensic lab for forensic investigation. The reason behind is that we either get very less time for investigation, the investigation ordered by court. So if a court has ordered us to conduct a polygraph and any other psychological investigation technique, before that it is mandatory to conduct psychological assessment to understand the mental status of an individual. Now, in that case, there is no particular test available to understand the mindset and mental status of an individual. So we have to get dependent upon the old techniques like Rorschach and TAT, which is very time consuming. Second limitation about these tests are that it gives us a variety of information about an individual, but very less information about the criminal behavior. So if in collaboration, we can focus upon the projective psychological testing construction in order to understand criminal behavior. So the test should be constructed in such a manner that in less time, it will give us more information about criminal behavior. And it would be better if we can have a predictive value about the criminal behavior through these projective techniques. The second aspect on which we would like to work on is the biases in forensic psychology. How to find out whether the forensic psychology expert is actually a biased person or he is working in the field in a neutral manner. Now, suppose a rape suspect is sitting in front of me. He is male, I am female. And since the type of crime with which he is being suspected, I might have negative attitude towards him, and I might show certain type of biasness, which is not required from my profession, which is actually a matter of ethical concern. So how to check whether the person who is involved in forensic psychology investigation is not a biased person? So can we develop a test, a tool to understand the biasness in the field of forensic psychology so as to recruit forensic psychology experts who is better in maturity level, who is better in understanding the problem, uh, who is better in understanding the requirement from the forensic psychology expert for the for solving the case. So there are certain concerns which need to be checked before hiring a forensic psychology expert. Next is, does forensic psychology bring justice to victims? Now, here the concern is that the report given by us from a forensic psychology organization, the report is submitted to court, and once the report is submitted, we have no connection with the suspect or the people associated with the criminal act. So once that report is being submitted, the second role should be how to give justice to victims. Now, justice is part of legal aspect. Court will give justice after going through the entire evidences and reports submitted by forensic lab. But being a forensic psychology expert, our work is also in terms of rehabilitation. So are we working on the rehabilitation of victims? Through our investigation, through our reporting, through our forensic psychological investigation test, we get certain idea that the person is victim and these are the problems faced by victim. So the primary part of submission of report is already done. So our work ethically it's done. But then the second job is how to give comfort to the victim to deal with the situation in which the person is suffering. Now, these victims cannot go to clinical psychologist or a counselor because of many legal issues. So it becomes our responsibility to deal with such victims. So the first part is done properly, what about the second part, and who all can do the second part is still a matter of concern and is a matter of research. Now, what are the emerging topics and roles of forensic psychologists? Meghmala has already talked about various roles and topics of research work in the field of forensic psychology. But are these topics relevant for research work? This is my second concern, which I'm going to talk about. What are the how we can expand the role of forensic psychology in police investigation? So one role which Meghmala has already said that we can help police for stress management. But what about expanding role of forensic psychology in police investigation? Now, what is happening in police station? People are coming for filing FIRs, for filing cases, for putting applications. Now, most of the applications are only for putting one's own problem in front of police so that they can help them out. Now, police is already preoccupied with many other investigation, many other cases, and there are many other problems which police personnel are facing. That is also a matter of concern for forensic psychologists. But when it comes to the type of cases that are being filed, most of the cases are like it can be resolved at the forensic psychology counseling level, or maybe the tele-counseling courses that Rabindranath Psychotherapy has started, and they will start doing tele-counseling also. So there are certain cases where tele-counseling or small counseling session can stop filing of those cases. For example, there is a fight between a husband and wife, and they are unable to resolve their marital issues. So they come to police station and they ask for filing a case, which get converted into FIR. Once it get converted into FIR, it goes to court and then the case starts. Now, because of this, there is no barrier which cases should be filed, how to resolve those cases, how to point out those premature discussion at the first level. That part is missing, because of which the number of cases in police stations are increasing, and the further number of cases at court is also increasing. So it is a vicious cycle which is happening, and that is creating a lot of problem in the judiciary. So there, the expansion of role of forensic psychologist is required, and for that a small survey or an awareness based questionnaire need to be prepared to understand what type of problems police are facing, what type of cases and complaints police are dealing with, which can be diverted to forensic psychology experts, which need not to be called at police station for further filing of case or investigation. Next is, how do emotions affect eyewitness memory? Now, eyewitnesses, their statements, eyewitness testimony is one of the important aspects in forensic psychology investigation. And in most of the cases, mostly the case is dependent upon the eyewitness testimony. Now, how to find out the eyewitness's memory is not being affected by the emotions under which the person has observed the event. Now, suppose a child has observed murder of his own mother or father in front of his eyes. There are emotions, there is a threat attached to that particular event, and he is the only eyewitness, and the entire event has created a memory. So how to check that emotions has not added extra information in the situation about which the person has given statement? So we need to check the correlation between emotions and the eyewitness memory, so as to find out the concreteness of the information given by an eyewitness. Next is, how to detect deception in an interrogation context. Now, interrogation is usually done by police officers in police station, but during that interrogation, is there any way to detect deception? Usually, deception is detected at forensic labs using various instruments which Meghmala has already spoke about in her syllabus presentation, like Polygraph. There is layered voice analysis, there's system detection, suspect detection system, there is brain electrical oscillation signature profiling, micro expressions. But these systems are used in forensic lab setup. How to use these systems and whether these systems can be used in interrogation setup or not, that validity, that availability, we need to check. And what is the success rate of using these systems somewhere else outside the forensic lab? For example, Polygraph and BIOS we cannot use in police station setup. But micro expressions is a setup, is a new concept that is coming forward, which can be used in police station for interrogation process. But in order to use that, we need to have a proper research work with proper questionnaire preparation. The interrogation questionnaire should be prepared in a standardized format. There has to be a standard operating procedure of doing this. And then only we can say that this system can be used in this setup. So again, research work is required for considering systems that can be used in police setup. Now, what are the modules used in forensic psychology, training opportunities and obstacles in forensic psychology? Who can get training and how to provide training? Now, there is no licensing up till now related to forensic psychology in India. In abroad, once a forensic expert has got the degree, he or she has to undergo a license examination, and then the person can practice. However, in India, such practice has not been established yet. So who can become forensic psychologist and how to find out whether he is a properly trained forensic expert or not? Now in India, what we are following up till now is a person who has done MSc in forensic psychology or MPhil in forensic psychology. We assume that since these techniques are part of the syllabus, so the person must have got proper training in the technologies and the assessment and the rehabilitation part. Also about the theories which can be used in forensic setup. But there is no guidelines or there is no check that the person has actually learned it, is actually well trained in this, and he can be used as a forensic psychology practitioner. Second way is that National Forensic Sciences University is providing various training programs in forensic psychology investigation techniques, where police officers, lawyers, judges, and many other forensic professionals are coming for training programs from various parts of the world. Now, they have got 15 days training, 20 days training, maximum 1 month training. They stay at NFSU campus and they get extensive training about the theory as well as practical aspects. Now, how to claim that or how to check that in 1 month training program, they have actually understood the concept and they can practice those techniques after going back to their country. So there are certain obstacles, and I can say that there are opportunities also to understand forensic psychology, to get proper training and to use that training in practicing forensic psychology. So we need to prepare a checklist or some questionnaire or some tests which can help us in understanding the person has actually got trained in the investigation techniques that we have taught, in the rehabilitation techniques that we have taught, or the therapeutic techniques that a clinical expert has taught to forensic psychology expert. Next is the polygraph versus normal lie detection process in forensic context. Now, polygraph is actually a well-established system which is used worldwide. But is there any other normal lie detection process which can be established in forensic context? Like when police personnel are doing interrogation at police station, they claim that they know that the person is telling lie. How do they know? Because of their experience. They have dealt with many suspects many people in their life. And if the person is saying in this manner, if the evidence is presented in this manner, that means it's a complete fake or a lie told by the person who is sitting for interrogation. Now, how to find out the information gathered by a police officer is actually genuine or it is misinterpretation from the police part that they have understood detection and this person is the culprit. So most of the time, the culprit or the suspect in the police station itself get named as a liar or as a guilty person without undergoing the forensic investigation technique. So can we prepare a test which police personnel can use it in their setup without involvement of forensic expert, which can give us an idea that yes, if these questions and if these body language and if these words are being spoken by the suspect, that means he is towards lying, and then the further investigation is required by a forensic psychology expert. Next is therapist beliefs and attitudes towards deception, victims and eyewitness memory. Now, what is the therapist belief? Now, one part is the investigation, another part is providing therapy by a forensic psychology expert as part of the rehabilitation program. Now, therapist belief and attitude towards deception victims, meaning, for example, it's a domestic violence case and the victim is the lady and she is being victimized by her in-laws and her husband. Now, during your therapy, you find that or you get an idea that the victim is actually not a victim. She is pretending as a victim. So there is no mental torture, there is no domestic violence shown by her in-laws. It is just that she wants to get more money from her in-laws, or there is some other problem. She is into extramarital affair and she wants to get rid of this person, her husband. And that is why a fake case has been filed and the case is going under trial. So suppose the therapist has got this information or about an eyewitness's memory, that the eyewitness is suffering with some sort of amnesia, or the statement given by an eyewitness is actually a false statement and not the actual witnessed statement. So in that case, how the therapist has to work towards this deceptive victims and eyewitnesses, and what should be the attitude and how to deal with such cases. From ethical point of view, if a therapist understands that the person is showing deception, he cannot go to court and say that this person is telling lie or the filed case is a fake case. That type of measure cannot be taken by a therapist from the ethical point of view. But can we get into this type of therapeutic program where we can give CBT to the victims to work on their behavioral pattern, REBT to work on their illogical belief system or the illogical way of dealing with the situation? So what shall be the process from a therapist part to deal with such people? Now, for this also, a proper research need to be done to prepare an SOP, because it's a legal concern. And for anything that is related to legal aspect, we have to have a standard operating procedure. We need to have a checklist and a questionnaire to justify why we changed from this therapeutic purpose to this therapeutic procedure. Next is the age perception of an eyewitness. Does age matter? So we need to do a neuropsychological tool construction to understand how age can affect an eyewitness. Now, a person who is age of 60 years or above 60 years or maybe above 70 years, there are chances of brain dysfunction. And because of that, the eyewitness's statement can get changed, manipulated. Secondly, diabetes has a strong relation to memory. A person is having a good brain, no dysfunction, no problem with the brain and its memory, but increased diabetes or suddenly shoot up diabetes can lead to memory issues. Recently, what I have observed during Corona phase also, that people who have suffered with Corona once or twice, they have started showing memory issues and decision-making problems after suffering from Corona. And though they have recovered from Corona, there is no other physiological issue, but there are memory issues. So age, the physical status of an individual, and the eyewitnesses. So these three concepts need to be checked, verified before taking a person as an eyewitness, because whatever the eyewitness is giving statement, that will affect the suspect in terms of proving oneself as guilty or as an innocent. Then there are certain biases in forensic mental health assessment. Biasness in a way that people coming for this type of assessment, that they are not mentally sound, they are mentally disturbed, and because of that they have committed crime. Now, how to prove that their mental health status is actually uh, proper, balanced, and it's a normal status? Especially in case of forensic cases, people do fake mental health issues for divorce cases, for child custody. So there are many other cases and many reasons to show mental health related problems. Suppose a person has committed murder, so the defending lawyer will try to present certain evidences saying that the person's mental health condition was not proper, and that is why, due to that reason, the person has committed crime. So eligibility to stand trial, witness to stand trial, these cases come to forensic psychology experts. And in order to find out mental health condition of an individual, we have to see, we have to prepare an assessment tool to understand that there is a biased mental health, or it's a genuine mental health issue because of which the crime has happened. There are various challenges that need to be understood by a psychometrician, because as a forensic psychology expert, sometimes we are unable to share the challenges, and we just try to overcome the challenges with our own experiences or the scenario around us. So certain challenges goes missing, and because of which we are unable to help each other as a forensic psychology fraternity. Suppose as a forensic expert, I felt certain challenges in my life to deal with certain cases. I am not putting it forward in terms of writing a paper or presenting those challenges in front of professionals. There is ethical issue. There are many other reasons for not presenting challenges in front of professionals working in the field of psychology. So there has to be a third party which can find out, which can do a study by, it could be a structured interview or an unstructured interview, to understand what are the challenges forensic psychology experts are facing while performing criminal evaluation, and if possible, how they dealt with overcoming those challenges. So what are their solutions? So psychometric expert can list out the challenges with probable solutions, which forensic psychologists cannot come forward and share in a public portal. So keeping their identity confidential, psychometric experts can do these type of researches. You can take help of forensic psychologists also, because initially they can list out the challenges which they already know, or they have shared with their professors or their colleagues. Next is competencies in forensic psychology training. Are we competent enough to provide forensic psychology training? One is whether a person has got the skill after training. So that was my earlier point. Now, the person who is providing training, is he or she competent enough? So in order to know that, again, a psychometric test need to be done on forensic psychology expert to understand his or her competencies. So what are the skills required? Whether the forensic psychology expert is good in executive functions, the forensic psychology expert is technically trained, is technically skilled to conduct polygraph, to conduct BIOS. So these competency check need to be assessed before giving a before considering a forensic psychologist as a good trainer. Now, what are the ethical challenges in the assessment of children eyewitnesses? Can we ask a child to come forward and become an eyewitness? Is it ethical? If the child is the only eyewitness, there is no other eyewitness except that child, then what are the ethical challenges that need to be taken care of before presenting that child as an eyewitness in front of court? So those ethical challenges need to be understood. Consent is there. Can we take a child's consent? Usually, when we are dealing with children in clinical or in forensic setup, the consent is actually given by a guardian or the parents. Now, parents have died and the child is the only eyewitness. There is no guardian at that time and the investigation is required. Who can give the consent? The child is allowed to give the consent, or we have to wait for the consent? So there are many such ethical challenges that we are facing. Yes, in juvenile cases, this thing, Indian setup has already understood that psychological testing or preliminary psychological assessment is required in juveniles. Okay, but how to do that? When a juvenile is sitting in front of us, in front of forensic psychology expert, and we want to do to conduct some psychological assessment, consent is required. Now, a child who is in juvenile home, where he is not allowed to be with the parents, he is inside the observational home. At that time, who will give consent? Child himself cannot give consent. The superintendent under whom the child is under observation, he cannot give consent. Parents are not there, or the child is an orphan. His parents are not there. Then who will give the consent and how to perform preliminary forensic psychological assessment? So though Indian judiciary has understood the importance of preliminary psychological assessment, but the next step of doing that is missing. So we need to focus on these ethical challenges also and need to find out solution for it. Next is, how does the past influence future practices of forensic psychology? Now, the past of forensic psychology, I can say that it's not of a longer duration. When it comes to academics, in 2013 at National Forensic Sciences University, we started a forensic psychology course. So it's only 9 years that the course is being running. And before that, whosoever is practicing forensic psychology in forensic labs, they are coming with a basic degree of psychology. So that way, the basics of forensic psychology is not there. So, but people who have passed MSc or MPhil forensic psychology program, they are yet to be placed in forensic labs. There are certain students who are working on contract and they are students who are working as an intern. But there is no amalgamation of past experiences and the new future practices. So we need to gather information from the practitioners who are coming with basics of psychology, who is practicing forensic psychology, the experiences that they have gathered, and how to bring those experiences passed on to future forensic experts. This entire SOP need to be planned, understood. Then only we can have better opportunities for forensic psychology students in India. Then the models applicable in forensic mental health investigation. Now we are working on forensic psychology investigation as a forensic psychology expert, but there is still lack of forensic mental health investigation. So we need to prepare a model. It could be a regression based model where we need to understand that this group of children has mental health issue which can lead to criminal behavior in future. So can we predict future criminal behavior uh, using by creating a model? Can we predict recidivism by creating a model? Can we predict that a person is showing suicidal ideation and the chances of committing suicide is this much, so as to give um, mental health benefits or mental health interventions to such kind of individuals, so as to reduce criminal act in future. Perception of children with disabilities, there are challenges in forensic psychology. Now, how we are perceiving children who has mental disabilities or any other type of disabilities. So there are challenges which we need to understand and give justice to children who are having some or the other type of disability, and the perception of an individual who is providing help, forensic help to such children. Causes of mental distortion for witnesses that experience traumatic events. So is there any mental distortion that has happened after witnessing a crime or after witnessing a event? So that distortion need to be understood and evaluated. Sometimes the event is so traumatic that a person who was having sound mental state got disturbed, and because of that the person started showing many other mental issues just because the person has witnessed that. For example, this 9/11 terrorist attack, after observing that or after witnessing that, many people got PTSD. They suffered with PTSD. This Kasab's case, people who have witnessed these series of serial bomb blasts, they started suffering with PTSD. So those the situation got over, there is no presentation in court, but because they have witnessed that, they started suffering with PTSD. Domestic violence cases, people start suffering with PTSD. Acid attack, ladies start suffering with PTSD. So though their face is distorted, they have tried to bring back their confidence, but what about the reliving of that traumatic event, because of which the person's mental health is now disturbed? Can we distinguish between juvenile and adult forensic psychology assessment? Now the problem is that there is no assessment available, so distinction is quite impossible. So in that case, again, a psychometric assessment tool need to be developed for adults and for children. And before preparing that, we need to understand what are the challenges, issues, and aspects that need to be understood through those psychometric tools. The use of forensic psychology in military courts. Up till now, what we are dealing with is the civilians. Can we use forensic psychology in military courts? Because there are military soldiers who are having mental health issues because they are posted at borders. They have a very strict schedule which they have to follow, and they are working in shifts which are very tiresome, which is very attentive in nature, and they are staying away from their family. So there are many such issues that is creating problem which require help of forensic psychology experts. And based on that, if they have committed any type of crime, if they come back to their family and they are showing more aggression, or they are getting into criminal activity, how forensic psychology experts can deal with such cases in military courts. So that understanding need to be developed, need to be researched. Use of online platforms to learn forensic psychology. Rabindrik Institute is well established and well known for providing online virtual programs, and it is actually a difficult process that without sitting front face to face, they are providing so many courses successfully, and they have organized so many workshops successfully, which is quite difficult. In even in corona phase it was quite difficult, but they have maintained that, they have maintained the quality. So can we use online platform to run forensic psychology also? And what are the aspects that we can learn in forensic psychology through online? Now, sitting with the system, that requires offline training, face-to-face training. You have to touch the system, you have to plug the system, you have to prepare the questionnaire. But there are other things that people can learn through online portal. This point is also very important: violence risk assessment in forensic psychology. Juveniles violence risk assessment, domestic violence risk assessment. So before getting married to a girl or to a boy, can we do violence risk assessment? That what will be the risk or violence risk of an individual after getting married? So is he violent enough to get into various type of criminal activity? So in children, in juveniles, in adults suffering with antisocial personality disorder, or people who are joining organizations. So for recruitment, for getting recruited in military, army. So this violence risk assessment is required, which is still not there in forensic as well as in normal psychology setup. I have many other points, but I would like to stop here. And if you have any questions, you can ask, or you can write to me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for sharing the key challenges which we are going through, like the forensic psychologists are going through every day, and like how the forensic like the psychological assessment can be introduced to forensic psychology field as well. Now, to uh, I would like to ask Masuma for her presentation.
Okay.
Hello,
Thank you.
Masuma. Yeah, please first give an introduction, brief introduction of yourself, and
Okay.
then you just present your slides.
Is my slide is visible to all of you? Hello, everyone.
Yes, Masuma. It's visible.
Okay. Thank you. This is Masuma Parvin. I'm an assistant professor and chairman at Department of Psychology, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Science and Technology University in Bangladesh. And my another identity is I have completed the level 1 forensic psychology course from RPRIT. And today I am presenting a topic. This is working area of a forensic psychologist in Bangladesh. It's a new area in Bangladesh, and hopefully I am the one who is reading forensic psychology and taking courses And in my university, that is Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Science and Technology University, is the first time offering these courses in undergraduate level. In my presentation, sorry, the slide is changing. Hello.
No.
Yes, it's changing. It's taking a little bit time, I guess.
In the first slide, I will give you a brief information which will help you to find out the working area of forensic psychologist in Bangladesh. At present situation in Bangladesh, maybe you know that in Southern Asia, Bangladesh is the most densely populated country, and the crime rate is increasing here day by day. I didn't mention the rate due to short time. But the forensic mental health in Bangladesh is ignored or not practiced yet. From the literature and from a current article, I have found that currently 16.8% of adults suffer from mental disorders, which is 6% higher than global prevalence. But still there is no effective step to overcome this situation. This situation is much worse in prisoners whose healthcare facilities often overlooked, and more than 80,000 prisoners in the country, that means in Bangladesh, suffer from mental disorders. This is a picture, hope you are seeing that in Bangladesh, we have 67 jail, central jail, but we have only 2 mental health hospital. One is Pabna Mental Health Hospital in the picture. Hopefully you are getting it. And the next is National Institute of Mental Health.
My slide is not moving.
Okay. So maybe the slide mode is not working. Is it visible now? Hello.
Megmala, can you take the slide and present it?
Yes, now it's visible.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. In this picture, I am showing the whole map of our country, and total we have 67 jail in Bangladesh, but we have sent jail hospital only 11. But mental health services in our country is provided by 2 government provided hospital. One is Pabna Mental Health Hospital and the another is National Institute of Mental Health, which is not sufficient for general people and prisoners also. And to prepare this presentation slide, I have searched many articles, books, and journals, and I have found that there are 5 law or ordinance in Bangladesh which are active, and based on this act or ordinance, a forensic psychologist can work in Bangladesh. The first act is the Mental Health Act 2018, which focuses on the management of mental health patients and services. And the second, the Code of Criminal Procedure, which is very much linked with the forensic aspect. And this focus on the consent of forensic mental health patients, specifically judgment of acquittal on the ground of mental illness, incapacity of defense, care of forensic mental health patients. The third one is the Bangladesh Jail Code, revised edition 2006, which focuses on the procedure of forensic mental health patients, especially the prisoners and the offenders or victims. The fourth one is Penal Code 1860, which focus on the detention, referral, care, and protection of forensic mental health patients. And the fifth one is the Police Ordinance 2008. It's a draft, and it focuses on the duties of police officers regarding taking changes of people with mental illness. So these 5 act or ordinance help us to find out the specific working area of a forensic psychologist in Bangladesh. Is it visible to all of you? This next slide is about working area in Bangladesh. The first working area can be in court. The most relevant working area of forensic psychologists in Bangladesh is court, where they can work in different aspects. The first one can be criminal investigation, as um, in forensic investigation, a forensic psychologist can use psychological tests and techniques in criminal investigation. Second can be expert testimony, as Meghmala ma'am and Priyanka ma'am already discussed about the role of a forensic psychologist as an expert testimony. Third can be competency evaluation. Fourth can be evaluation of sanity, which is the section 84 in penal code. Maybe Indian and Bangladeshi code are same. And the fifth one is trial consultant. A forensic psychologist can work in court in Bangladesh as a trial consultant in preparing cases, jury selection, development of case strategy, and witness preparation as well. Hopefully you are seeing the changing slide.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Next, a forensic psychologist can work in the prison system also, as I have told already that there are 67 prisons in Bangladesh where forensic psychologists can work. And the jail code mentioned about the recruiting psychologist in the forensic perspective in court and in the prison. The treatment planning of offender can be one of the role of a forensic psychologist in Bangladesh by preparing the treatment plan and evaluate the progress through follow-up session. Second can be evaluation of juvenile. In Bangladesh, there are 3 juvenile development center, or you can say a rehabilitation center for juvenile. They can work with juvenile offenders to understand their nature and characteristics and the other perspective also. Third is correctional service. A forensic psychologist can also work in Bangladesh in prison as a correctional perspective, like assessing mental health needs, providing individual or group therapy, evaluating the effectiveness of correctional programs in prison. And the fourth one can be a probation officer. A forensic psychologist can monitoring the progress of client towards a specific goal, administer drug test, and help coordinate resources, and can also work with other issues. I didn't focus it due to short time limit. And the next slide, I have focused on the police perspective, as Priyanka ma'am already told about this perspective. But in Bangladesh, the police ordinance 2008, it focuses on the duties of police officer and taking charges of people with mental illness. Based on this ordinance, a forensic psychologist can work by aiding in criminal profiling, can create a psychological profile by using psychological assessment and tools and techniques of an offender by using information of crime, interviews, and psychological instruments. Second, they can support the police officers as a police consultant that Priyanka ma'am already told very nicely and clearly. They can give training to the police officers to help them understand the mind of criminals and their characteristics, and also the victims. The third one can be a counseling. As we know that policing is a stressful job, and lots of case they have to deal. So for this perspective, they need counseling, and the forensic psychologist can give them counseling to do their job properly. And the last one I have prepared, that is clinical evaluation and treatment. In this, I have already told that there are 67 jails in Bangladesh, but there are 11 jail hospital in the country, but their services are not enough to provide huge amount of prisoners or the offenders or the juveniles who are in the juvenile center. but the mental health is not available there, or sometimes it's ignored. In serious cases, they are referred to NIMH, that is Mental Health Institute, or in Pabna Mental Health Hospital. But this service is not sufficient to provide the actual service to the prisoners or the offenders. In a research, it was found that an estimated 260 psychiatrists work in Bangladesh, 700 nurses, and 565 psychologists. That is very limited support for us to give the proper mental health services to the Bangladeshi people. But a forensic psychologist, as this is a new area in Bangladesh, can work as a clinician, can play a vital role for proper diagnosis of mental illness among criminals or offenders, or in suspect. Second, they can work as a sexual harassment cases. By dealing sensitive cases, a forensic psychologist can work for proper investigation of the crime and the treatment of the victims, or child custody, and another many issues they can deal. The last one is research. All of those are practice oriented, and the second point that Meghmala ma'am already told, that forensic psychologists work in two broad category. One is practice based and another is research. So research is very important, but as this is a new field, I have told, in Bangladesh, so I have found very limited research in Bangladesh. Only one research article I have found, which is published in 2022, and which focuses on forensic mental health of the or present scenario of Bangladesh. So this is for me. If you have any question or query, you can ask me. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Masuma. If anybody has any questions or any kind of comments.
Thank you, Professor Priyanka Kakkar. Very nicely you have covered the major challenges of forensic psychology, and it appears to me that is whatever the challenges you have presented, and Ravindra Psychotherapy Research Institute has the capability to do that type of research. So we are very much hopeful that currently we are constructing some questionnaire, particularly measurement of the integrity and honesty issue. I think that is also related to your area of thinking, and we are applying the projective technique, particularly in this case. And Priya and Kobita both are working on it, and they are providing different type of supports to me to construct the questionnaire. The second one, that is what Masuma has pointed out. Masuma has covered very nicely the major issues of research in Bangladesh. And thank you, Meghmala, for teaching Masuma. And I am very much hopeful that in near future, PRIT will be able to provide the support, specifically the research support related to the applied psychometrics, related to the forensic psychological research, related to the telemental health research, and related to the school psychology research, etc., to the neighboring countries of India. Thank you, Meghmala. Thank you, Masuma. And thank you, Professor Priyanka Kakkar. Despite of your very busy schedule, you have joined and you have raised very important issues. I am very much hopeful that in near future, we can do some practicum because you have raised the 18 challenges or
Yes, sir,
maybe
that
more.
is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 18 challenges. So we can make that is the minimum 5 papers out of it. That will be the challenge. I hope that is Meghmala and Ashma and other faculty members like Shonam is here. So definitely we'll be able to do more research on this particular area. So we have to fulfill your dream because
Yes, sir.
When I have requested you, that is, please you give me one syllabus of forensic psychology without any hesitation. Without any hesitation, you gave me the syllabus and I have tried at my best to provide the knowledge through your syllabus. Now it is a time to revise the syllabus so that we can develop more expertise in research activities.
Yes, sir.
And we are trying to develop our own instruments. So in near future, we can apply it. And related to Rabindranath psychotherapy, I can say 2 things. Number 1 is Rabindranath Tagore. He composed one dance drama, Balmiki Pratibha. In the Balmiki Pratibha, he tried to explain how we can control the criminal behavior or criminal type of personality, criminal type of dispositions in us. And the second one, that is in Rabindranath psychotherapy, you will find there is a flow, and this flow is the buoyant force. And buoyant force basically is acting on the development of criminal behavior within the individual. So I hope that is in near future, our course will cover the buoyant force issue. And specifically with the competency issue, madam, our student Oshmita De, she presented one research paper in the recently concluded Indian Academy of Applied Psychology conference. That is also related to the competency issue. And definitely that is a literature review based because we do not get much questionnaire in India related to this particular issue. So this is all about my submission. Professor Tushar Singh is with us. Professor Singh, are you here?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Oh, yes. We are very much grateful that Professor Tushar Singh is here. Tushar Singh is with us. So, Professor Singh, would you like to add something on this particular topic? Or because your area is experimental psychology, psychometrics, that is your major area. I hope in near future we can do some work in collaboration with the BHU also, if we get support from the BHU. Though
yes,
we
sure,
have
sir.
the limited resource, but our resource is in with respect to the knowledge. We do not have much financial resources, but we have the very good knowledge resources. So through these knowledge resources, definitely we'll be able to do some research in collaboration with the BHU, in collaboration with the National Forensic Science University in near future, and also, if possible, through BASUMA, that is the Bangladesh Psychological Association, if it is possible. Okay. So thank you, everybody. So is there anyone who like to add something in this participant zone? Is there anyone? Shonam, would you like to say something?
So,
Okay.
Sonam, I guess.
Okay,
it's
Bigbal, I
better.
think time is also there, so we have to finish the next session. So, okay.
So, right now, I would like to mention that Masuma has successfully completed her level 1 of forensic psychology. So, we need to give the certificate, and I would like to give the certificate in the symposium.
Sure. So please you hand over the certificate through Professor Priyanka Kakkar, Madam.
Yes.
And Professor
I'm going
Tushar
to
Singh
share
is
this
also here.
certificate also.
So in front of them, please
Yes.
you can show your certificate, and then formally we will distribute to Madam.
I have shared my screen, and congratulations, Masuma, for successfully completed this certified course level 1 forensic psychology.
Thank you, ma'am and sir. Thank you very much. I have learned a lot of things from these courses, and hopefully I will be able to apply this knowledge in practical life in my country. And I need your support to conduct research in Bangladesh, as there is no expert in our country to support me in this sector.
Now you are the expert, so you have to support your country people. So you are the first one to support yourself as well as your country people in forensic psychology as well as in forensic investigation. So take the lead, and congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
If you need any help, we all are here to help you. But now you are the one to take the lead in forensic psychology in your country. Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, I will.
So please you convey our regards to Professor Kamaluddin sir for his initiative. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now I am requesting Priya, please you show the certificate to Professor Priyanka Kakkar, Madam. Priya, are you here?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I'm presenting.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Full screen.
Thank you, Priyanka ma'am,
Thank
for explaining the concepts of forensic psychology and the scope regarding the psychometrics. We would soon be interested in collaborating with you for a research, and whatever you have shared in the presentation, I hope everyone who is listening here proceeds in some form of research and contributes through their knowledge, and by presenting a research paper or making it a part of their thesis or some form of knowledge, so that whatever we learn here, we are able to contribute in the society and in the field of psychology as well. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being a great speaker in our symposium.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you, sir, for inviting me. And I am positively looking forward to have collaborative research programs. And if possible, if I'll talk to NFSU authorities also, if we can go for some collaborative research projects and further programs.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
inviting
Madam.
me.
Thank you, Madam, for your encouragement. So now we can request Professor Tushar Singh to say a few words about the applied psychometrics and
Thank you, sir.
particularly, yeah. And yes. Yes, Professor Tushar Singh.
Thanks a lot, sir, first of all, for organizing this wonderful symposium and also inviting me to be the part of this. I heard last few parts of the lecture by Professor Priyanka and then this wonderful presentation by one of the students. As you are aware that I work primarily in psychometric and research methods, but since last 5-6 years, I am also working in the area of forensic psychology. And I have extensively worked with the rehabilitation of acid attack victims. Here in BHU, we run two courses that might be relevant for the trust, and later on we can think of some association between the two. One of the courses is MSc in Forensic Science, which is a interdisciplinary course hosted in Institute of Science, and its psychological aspects are taught by me. So I and Professor Yogesh Kumar Arya of Psychology Department are founding member of this course. We have been teaching this course since last 6 years. And also we offer a specialized course on forensic psychology to our MA MSc students of psychology. With my association in these two areas, I have learned that while this area is very much needed, very rapidly growing, and is able to provide good jobs to the students, there are not much training in this area. Whenever we talk about forensic psychology, the first thing and the last thing that comes in our mind is Gujarat Forensic Science University, which was established in 2008. And after this, there is not much institutes are there which are offered. Very recently, I have seen that few institutes have started courses on forensic science, but still these courses have been focused on teaching and training and not creating jobs and not finding out avenues where our students can get jobs. And that is why whenever our students want to go for an internship and look for opportunities to get some practical training, it takes us a lot to find a suitable place for this. So for now, our students are going to CBI headquarter or district forensic science laboratories to get their internship. But the problems they face there is nobody believes that psychologists have a role in forensic. So whenever our students go there for these internship positions, they think that they will be helping them in some chemical analysis, some technological things. And when our students, psychology students, they say we are not trained in clinical analysis, we are not trained in technological analysis, we are not trained in interpreting polygraph data, rather we can help you with research, criminal profiling, victim profiling, eyewitness related issues. They say all these are psychology. I don't think, or we don't think it's much needed in forensic. So we have not been able to create a general need. We have not been able to change the perception of people involved in law, legal areas, legal avenues, that yes, forensic psychologists do have a role to play. It took the psychologists around the world around 40 years to get their foothold in forensics in legal setting. But in India, we are still at the beginning stage. I'm very hopeful that with the initiatives of this trust, Ravindric Psychotherapeutic Research Trust, and with the leadership of Professor D.D. Roy sir, we'll be able to create more awareness, and through these certificate courses by the trust, we'll be able to train our students in specific areas of forensic psychology, forensic science, and one of which is the same needed area on which this symposium is based, that is the psychometric assessment. There are many technological assessments technique available in forensics laboratories. However, when it comes to psychometric tests to measure the intention of the criminal or offenders, to measure the trauma that is faced by the person, to develop therapeutic interventions for victims, there are many areas in which there is not much progress. When we started working on acid attack victims way back in 2014, we found that there is no specific treatment protocol for these victims. There are protocols for healing their burns, their helping them with their physical deformities, but the mental burns, mental deformities that take place after a woman or even a man is attacked by acid, there is not much treatment protocol. And in most of the cases, it's only symptoms based. So with our research in 2018, we could develop a therapeutic intervention plan, a model, and we are still conducting researches to test this model. And it was with these efforts that last year in 2021, NCW considered acid attack victims in one of its priority research areas, and funded some researches as well as some workshops in this area. The trust may also contact and also collaborate with NCW in this context. NCW is looking for many symposium, is inviting proposals for funding symposiums, seminars, conferences, invited lectures on various issues that is related to forensic science. So one of my suggestions is that the trust should visit the site. The call for application is open and the last date for application is 30th May, where NCW is giving a good funding to organize workshops and lectures in areas. Some of these are related with, can be related with forensics. I don't have much to speak, because I know we are already behind time, but at last I'm very much hopeful that with the leadership of Professor Roy, with the support of very enthusiastic and able team you have, this trust will mark its print in application-based psychological research in India, which is the need of the hour. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for suggesting the NCW website. Definitely, we will try. I have no idea because this is the academic trust. So whether our trust is applicable or not, I have no idea. But okay.
They give funding to NGOs, trust as well as academic institutions. So they are open in this respect. I am sure this trust can apply.
Oh, thank you. So Meghmala, please you follow it. Definitely, please tonight we can discuss with you about this particular issue. Thank you, sir. And now it is a time for the certificate distribution. So Nusri, are you here? Yeah, yes, Nusri. Okay. So please you declare the name of your candidates who will get the certificate and about your course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you like to share their certificate, you can share the certificate. I'm not sure whether your students are here or not, but you can give the certificate.
Okay, is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, okay. First, good afternoon to respected sir, ma'am, external and internal professors. And I am Anushree Basu, academic assistant of 2-month online applied psychometric course. Today, I am very glad to announce that RPRIT successfully completed 2-month applied psychometric course, and that was started from 21st January 2022. And now I am going to share and present the student certificates for the successful completion of this course.
So you are presenting a certificate in
Yes.
front of Professor Priyanka Kakkar and Professor Tushar Singh. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First,
Okay.
I want to call Monalisha Patanayak. Her registration number is 02019 and she has achieved the grade B+. Congratulations, Monalisha. Next, I want to call Aishi K. Sri. Her registration number is 02205 and she has achieved the grade C. Congratulations, Aishi. Next, I want to call R. Anindita. Her registration number is 2206 and she has achieved the grade B+. Congratulations, Anindita. Next, Rekha Rani. Her registration number is 02209. She has achieved the grade B+. Congratulations, Rekha Rani. Now I am sharing the certificate of Nahana Parvin. Her registration number is 02212. And she has achieved the highest marks. Congratulations, Nahana Parvin. Your grade is A+. Next, Roman Alemu. Her registration number is 02213. She has achieved the grade B. Congratulations, Roman, for this. And thanks to all of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello.
Is there any student of you here now?
Roman is there. Roman is
Okay.
there.
So Roman, Roman, are you comfortable to speak?
Thank
Hello,
you very
Roman.
much. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Yes. Okay. So please you share your experience in this particular course.
Thank you very much. I know I got yes. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you are audible. Please you introduce yourself.
What you are saying?
Please introduce yourself, Roman.
Okay. My name is Roman Alemu. I'm just from Ethiopia. I'm in now in Mahatma Gandhi University as a research scholar in PhD. So I'm so happy by just taking this course, psychometric course. So it was, informative, and thank you for my just director, for our instructors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roman. Roman is from Ethiopia. So here I'd like to share that if RPRIT is able to provide the international service also to their own research expertise. Thank you, Roman.
Okay.
So Priya, do you have any other thing?
Yes. What?
Hello, Priya.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello. Hello, Priya.
Yes, sir. I have a certificate for Dr. Tushar.
Professor Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Tushar Singh, sir, for delivering a lecture as an invited speaker in the National Symposium on Forensic Psychology and Applied Psychometrics. Your words on psychometrics and experimental psychology are helpful and would always help students and the new learners to integrate more of psychometrics into their studies so that they are able to contribute more in the society and in the field of psychology. We wholeheartedly thank you for being as a and speaking as an invited speaker. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Priya. Thank you, everyone.
And I would thank you all for joining us in the National Symposium of Forensic Psychology and Applied Psychometrics. Thank you, sir, for organizing this and providing us a platform to share knowledge and information so that everyone can now come up with their own research, and from the knowledge which has been shared by our speakers, Dr. Priyanka Kakkar ma'am and Dr. Tushar Singh sir, I hope everyone will be able to contribute in the field, come up with new research and bridge the knowledge gap which has been there with their new and innovative ideas. I thank you everyone for joining. Thank you Anupama and Meghmala for organizing and being the backbone of this symposium. Thank you to our academic assistants for tirelessly contributing with their presentation, and thank you everyone to all of our academic assistants and coordinator for delivering and explaining their internship courses and programs so that everyone who wants to get associated with RPRIT can get benefited from our courses. And thank you everyone who has joined and our students who have been a part of these courses and have made our previous courses successful. So on that note, I would like to share a quote from Rabindranath Tagore. The highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence. It would be a pleasure to conclude with this quote of Rabindranath Tagore, that it is not just our duty to collect knowledge, but also contribute with our essence and to contribute in our society and maintain harmony and balance. On that note, thank you everyone for joining and making this symposium a success. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Priya. Now it is the time for the concluding prayer. Please close your hands for the prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now 76 Sunday webinar covering the Symposium on Psychological Scaling in Forensic Psychology close. Thank you.